The Gold Coast saw 6 SuperFoilers prospecting for points. Chaos wasn't far behind as we reached the halfway mark of our immense journey to the Ben Lexon Trophy. We've travelled 4,500 kilometres from one side of the country to the other for this, the penultimate round of the SuperFoiler Grand Prix here in Busselton. And Tess, if our championship frontrunner Euroflex was hoping to get it done here, they're going to have to wait for a very long time.
That's right, Nick. We had strong winds during the pre-regatta training and Euroflex suffered major structural damage to their hull. They're not going to be able to race today and we'll have to see if the boat builders can repair it in time for them to sail it all this weekend.
It's going to be a mammoth effort if they can get it just back on the water. We'll find out before then who's going to fill the massive hole left by our championship frontrunner on this sunny backdrop in Busselton. The waterways might look charming, but they have plenty of challenges to test our world-class sailors. Tech 2, Pavement and Euroflex were out there training when our championship frontrunner ran into trouble.
Looks like the rudder broke. The stock between the top bearing and the bottom bearing is snapped. And then when that happened, it went outboard, went through the side of the hull and sort of looks like a can opener that's gone down the side of the boat.
We're basically just bearing away, just sort of accelerating through the turn, just as per normal, straightening up. We just started hearing a cracking noise and then saw the back of the boat sort of explode as we were squaring up to go downwind. So that sound and that feeling when you're on trapeze especially is not ideal. So Goobs and I sort of quickly got ourselves in before the boat sort of spun out and managed to sort of save the capsize. Obviously, massively disappointing. We're just out for a training sail. Beautiful conditions here in Busselton, flat water, 15 knots, sun's out. It just doesn't get any better for yachting. And to have the rudder stock fail and blow out the side of the float hull at the back there is really disappointing. They're fragile, high-performance craft, and things are on the edge, and that's also the beauty about the sailing. That's what we like about sailing these types of boats. But things that are on the edge, sometimes you go over that edge at times, and structurally that's just one that I don't think anyone could foresee, and just unfortunate. But we'll play on.
It's going to be, frustrating watching, everyone race over the weekend, and I'm sure the boat builders are going to assess this and see if they can fix it in time. But I think it's a big task to get it ready, so we'll just have to put our eyes forward to Sydney.
The hustle was on in Busselton from the get-go.
Hold on. Ease traveller, ease Trav. Hold on, Aiden. Rounding up. Yeah, it's all right. Ready? I'll give you a hand. Here? Come here, man. Copy that.
And the West Australian Wobbles returned for the Rouge Rockets.
You all right?
Pavement joining the red flyer in the red zone, closing in on 70 kilometres an hour when it all went pear-shaped.
Oh, I'm a bit concussed. Oh, good. You alright?
Yeah, rudders was starting to get a bit wild on me, and I was basically just struggling to stay on the boat. Next thing I know, we were capsized. I think I went forward. I must have hit the board on my way through. Kind of can't remember what happened before that.
Boat get a little bit loose, and next thing you know, you're in the air. The horizon's just flying by faster than you can recognise.
That race was scrapped, and you could have forgiven the SuperFoilers for playing it safe in the next. But Phil Robertson was looking to light it up, closing in on becoming just the third skipper to taste success in the series.
Just feeling a lot more confident and comfortable in the boat and getting the hang of it. So, yeah, we're clearly feeling a lot better out there in the bigger breeze, and it's nice. We're welcoming it and wishing we could do more in it. So, yeah, bring on the big breeze and we'll keep trying to send it.
Phil Robertson on a rocket ship on top after our first race here in Busselton. The big omission, of course, our series frontrunner Euroflex didn't make the start line and in doubt for the rest of the weekend. Jack, it was blowing a gale yesterday. What can we expect today?
Yeah, it's beautiful out here. It's actually had a bit of a glass out for the last 40 minutes, so we've just been waiting for the light sea breeze to settle in, and it's just started now. So we've got anywhere from 5 to 8 knots from the south-southeast, which is the trade winds here, and we're expecting it to build to somewhere between 13 and 15 knots a little bit later. So racing close to getting underway.
We can see the 5 SuperFoilers out. They're really close to the start of the first race. The breeze is light here at the moment, so they're just working on their pre-start control.
What is the, so you know, if there's no one there.
You might be able to do it on one tack.
Yeah, the thing is, if someone's slow off the start line, you've got a massive duck.
Everything's a factor out here as we get ready to race.
Up to the line.
In our Saturday opener.
Let's go.
It's Coming Up Express. And the beautiful backdrop is set. We're ready to go racing.
I'm getting too close to the line.
Run the line.
Talk to me, how long?
As I've always been told, Tess, it's a game of inches today, a game of millimetres for these SuperFoilers.
Racing.
And there's the start off Busselton. Pavement out on the left. Tech 2 quite advanced off the start.
Going here, boys. We've got 2 boards down as well, lads. Go board up.
Listening to Phil Robertson.
That's way below par.
A little bit more weight on max wing, max sheet. You get the sheet as well.
And record point, they didn't have the best start, so they've opted to tack onto port and head out towards the jetty on the far right to look for pressure.
Already a different strategy.
Where's the wind here, Sam? Yeah.
Such a delicate game in this really light air. They've got to get their heads out of the boat and look to where the pressure's coming from.
Parko and everyone's falling away.
It's going to be really close here, Tess. We can see that Pavement's made a good start. Tech 2 behind them, and ID and perhaps a little building sniff at the moment for Paul Campbell, James and co.
Cleanmate's got a nice lane on the inside there. Confident, more pressure's coming.
Think, forget about your trap until we're all up 12 maybe. Just go right up on that beam.
Steve Thomas.
I'm dragging that Luadale hard. That's it. That's that.
Great stuff there from Tech 2's Luke Parkinson. He's not happy with the minor adjustments they need to be making to get all the weight forward on the SuperFoiler in such light breeze. This makes racing almost impossible for these highly tuned machines.
Okay, I'm max weight here, lads.
On board Team ID.
Up you come, Fang.
Kinley Fowler on the bow for the first time.
I want to go fast towards this next bit of pressure, okay? So I've got no issue reaching.
Several different strategies in search of the wind. Jack McCartney, where's the wind coming from? How are the sailors going to decode this?
Yeah, it's a little bit further in the left and a slight build out here, Nick. So I think the guys here behind me, Pavement and the Tech 2 are getting to the New Breeze first. But having said that, the Clean Made looks in a nice high mode and actually holding nice position on the race course. But just the New Breeze filtering in right now. So we'll see them get up and going.
Jack, an adrenaline junkie by day and clearly braving things without a life jacket. Surprising to see, Tess, with the conditions like they are.
Yeah, it's really tricky out there, Nick, and you can see the hulls. They're trying to get the windward and the leeward hull even distances above the water so that the water line through the centre hull is at its maximum here, and you can see any bit of increase in breeze is just going to accelerate these boats, and they're all looking on board to get them up and foiling. And Pavement and Tech 2, they're coming into a bit more breeze out on the left here.
And it looks like Tech 2's made the most of it. They've caught it early and they roll over the top of Pavement. Jack, this is a big move so early on. How did they do it?
Yeah, so that's the new pressure that I was talking about, and they're first to it. Tech 2's nailed it here, so they'll push right out to a boundary and then come in on a lay, I would be expecting. And now Pavement just getting into the new pressure as well.
The Superfoilers need 6 to 7 knots of breeze to be able to foil, so we're just under that at the moment, but you can see as they get that 7-8 knot gust, they just double in boat speed with acceleration. So there's lots of opportunities on this racetrack to make big gains if you can get in the pressure.
What do you reckon? Straight, left turn, jive on it.
Record Point, who had the worst start and tacked onto port, has now got a big righty and is fully up and going. So actually it's going to be pretty tight up the top of the course, I think.
Nathan Outeridge, you're on the sidelines at the moment with Euroflex out. It must be hard to watch Record Point string it together in tricky conditions at the moment.
Trimming in here, boys. Next trim. Yeah. Wait forward.
But you know this is not easy going. This is super tough stuff, Nathan, and it's all about to get harder. Is that fair to say?
Obviously, a lot's happening at this upwind, but I think the race is really about getting downwind. These boats are much harder to sail downwind than they are upwind, and I think it looks like Record Point's already around the top mark here, so that right-hand side of the course has paid off.
There's good pressure at the top of the course, and Clean Made coming in close behind Record Point on that port lay for the left turn.
He's driving. We got to do the same. We will have boats. 2, 1.
So fascinating to hear from Olivia Price as she plans to keep an eye on Record Point.
I'm not out. I'm going forwards, ready?
And we can see a nice little battle as well between the other Superfoilers.
We're working hard here. Marginal is whether we can foil. Yeah. Wait, big string. Hit it. Everyone, and forwards.
In this light breeze, it's critical you make the most of any little pressure increase to get your boat speed up.
I'm very, very close to going here, lads.
And you've got to stay a bit ambitious too and a bit hopeful that the breeze will come and pick up.
Record Point is not going to be that far in front now.
No.
Just drive back across.
Okay, 4 boards now, Sam.
Tech 2 confident they're making some gains on Record Point. They're going downwind to get through the middle gate towards the bottom marks.
Nathan, how is this all unfolding, mate?
This race course is a tricky one. It's so light, you can't foil sometimes, but then you get a little puff, and if you can use that breeze to get up and going, you can be around the bottom mark before anyone moves. So it's nice to be in the lead right now, but I think the guys behind almost might have the advantage as they come around the top of the course here.
Keep an eye on my VMG here with Tech 2, okay? I think bow's coming down.
So VMG, that's the best balance between your distance sailed with the best boat speed.
Is this that mode that we're in before, mate?
No, it's all right. We're still flying here. We're doing really good stuff on Record Point here. I think it's a header. Wade in.
Yep, good knock in there.
Big ease on all the gear. He's trapped.
A header, so the breeze has gone right.
Luke Parkinson saying they're positively flying. He's the kind of pilot I want when I'm in bad altitude.
Okay, I'm scared of... Okay, bow's coming down a little here. Nice and easy sailing here, lads. As we talked about, VMG mode, okay?
Hardly turbulent, Tess. Nice and smooth.
Yeah, you can see the main sheet and the bowman standing up, looking for the new breeze coming from behind, and on board Clean Made.
Just on 3 point, but like low ride.
These sailors haven't done a lot in this light breeze, so they're still trying to figure out the best technique to get downwind.
You look out there right now and no one's really moving that fast. These two guys are heading towards the jetty there, and they're going to have to jibe over pretty soon. It's a really hard boat to sail when it's light. not in terms of keeping the thing upright, but just trying to keep it moving. You can see them, you know, walking around the boat very carefully. And look at them all looking backwards. They're looking for that breeze. Until they get a puff of breeze, you could basically stop and have a picnic and wait for the next puff to come through.
Remember the 2 lengths from the jetty?
Such a privilege to have Nathan, our series leader, sharing the insights out there as we see Sam Newton couldn't be any further forward. He's just reclining there.
Standby jibe here.
It's such a risk out on the course. You know, you can't get from one side to the other very quickly, so it's a bit of a lottery game, Nick, as to is the pressure going to come in from the jetty or out on the Fremantle side?
Real good one. Stay low. Low will get you in it.
Copy.
I know it hurts.
Yep.
A lot of guessing going on out there at the moment.
When we're bored up here?
When we're bored up?
Yeah.
Teammate is on good angles there. We're high at the moment.
Lockie Gilmore on a great angle as well. He's almost cleaning the camera for us.
Okay, I like this angle. Move forward if you can.
The weight forward's going to lengthen that middle waterline. Less drag.
It's not as bad as what I thought it was. I think we've gone through like a bad...
I'm getting good pressure here. Yeah, I think it was a bad transition. Pavement's well out on that right, that downwind, coming up just a little. Just got waves from that media boat.
Not sure I'd trust Olivia Price when I was out fishing there.
Higher.
A lot of tall stories coming from her about breezes that just aren't there.
Interesting. I think we keep going here and let it set up. And
This convergence back of the fleet's going to be interesting, Nick.
yeah, look, it's looking better and better for a jibe, eh?
The top speed of the boats right now are probably 4 or 5 knots. They're not really going that quick, so you're probably better off to do a few jibes to find the right position. But once you're up and foiling, you really can't, you know, do too many manoeuvres. And, you know, I think these guys are just trying to use this jetty. Maybe there's a bit of wind funneling down here, but it's really a game of inches at the moment.
Or it could be, Nathan, that Luke Parkinson, he's a West Australian native. He wants to get close to the Busselton jetty and say good day to his family and friends who've journeyed down here to watch him put on a show, and he's promised to do that today.
Just staying low, wait in.
And it looks like Pavement's absolutely sending it, Tess.
Yeah, they must have found pressure out on that Fremantle side.
Just keep an eye on that main lock, don't let me stall.
Stevie's foiling out the other side of the course.
And that's going to seem rapid for our race leader. They've just been rolled, actually. And now Pavement's taking the lead ahead of Cleanmate and Record Point in 3rd, with Tech 2 in 4th. It can all happen in the blink of an eye. More racing up next.
Coffee?
Superb sailing from Cleanmate. They're in 2nd at the moment.
Driving, 2.
And it looks like that lead that Steve might have got might evaporate here very quickly. That's just how quickly things can change. 1 minute you're not moving, next minute you're doing 15 knots.
Olivia on board Cleanmate's doing a great job of linking the jibes with the pressure together, and these guys are close to sailing through the middle gate. You can see the yellow committee boat, that black and white checkered mark. They're on the first downwind here, through the gate towards the bottom marks.
I don't know. Where's the next pressure? Back. Driving, 2, 1.
And that's the target. They want to try and get ahead of Pavement, who's currently in the lead. Amazing comeback from them after a nasty knock.
Need lift in that board house as soon. I got it now.
You can see how much easier these boats are to jibe when you're foiling. So when you've got a bit of boat speed, that's the time when you can really link your manoeuvres together and make big gains.
But the boat speed test is going to be affected by the crew weight, the weight of the personnel on board. In light breezes, physics comes into it. These heavier boats will be like having a sumo wrestler on a thoroughbred horse. It's just not going to work.
What's next? What's next? Coffee?
And for Cleanmate, their DEXA body scan indicates they're one of the lightest.
Lighter, lot lighter.
They are a lot lighter.
Coffee.
And that's going to play into their hands really nicely here. Less weight equals more speed, and they're just milking it. They're in the lead now and absolutely romping along.
Copy.
Cleanmate's been able to get some great depth on this downwind. They've had such a good run line in this pressure here, and now Pavement's in that same line.
Trav up a little, maybe. No hold.
I think we need more weight.
No, happy with the weight. Coming up.
So it's a long way away. The marks, this is the right-hand mark here.
Yeah, and it'll be a big turn up, so go past Liv.
The other one's a lot closer.
There is pressure inside.
Copy.
In this lighter breeze, the teams have got a lot more time to communicate what strategy they're going to have coming into the marks.
Where's my angle? Where's my angle?
London Olympic silver medalist Olivia Price just wanting more intel there from her crew, asking Harry Morton and Josh McKnight to give her more info. And she's loving her time at the front. We haven't seen her lead too many SuperFoiler races.
Not yet, not yet. Setting up. 2, 1.
And picking that final lay line into the bottom mark, and a bit too much lift going into that jibe, just a touch down and preparing for the roundup.
Copy.
Around the right mark.
You get the tool, then you get the tool.
Yeah, it's okay.
These two teams have got a good little puff and have just jumped away from the fleet.
And it could be a wonderful time, Nathan, to catch the other SuperFoilers napping, put serious meters into them and close the gate and earn more points. It'll be a real moment to exploit for these two, and they're going to absolutely go for it.
That's the beauty of sailing. There's no right or wrong way to do it. There's lots of options around the course. You can do 15 jibes down the middle in one little puff, or you can go to the corners. You can get there at the same time. So these guys have had different approaches, but they've really gapped the fleet. You can see Record Point here got a nice little puff of their own, and they're not out of it either. But it's much, as I was saying before, it's a lot more difficult to sail these boats downwind than it is upwind. And I think when they come back up the course, not much will change, but I think downwind is where the big lead changes come.
Sailing in this super light air and also in extreme windy conditions is the hardest skill level to have, and there's so much concentration required and communication and being able to preempt what's going to happen and stay nice and calm and patient to get the boats around the course.
Maybe got more lift inward.
I think that next one's kind of...
And the boats are enjoying the bit more breeze that has filled in now. They're able to foil for a higher percentage of the time.
I'm staying in lock. Big knock there. Weight right in.
Moving your weight around accurately, keeping it forward in the boat is critical.
And Tess, it looks like Pavement may have just slid past Clean Made there.
Yeah.
This breeze has lightened off again here, Nick, so we're back to the patience game.
Knocking, knocking, knocking.
On heaven's door, perhaps, hoping for an answer.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to keep squeezing. Yeah. No, agreed. Happy with that.
The breeze is knocking, so Clean Made's trying to stay in high mode, not to lose too much distance against Pavement.
I'm getting lifted at the moment.
Pavement calling they're being lifted. Clean Made saying they're being knocked, Nick.
It's just so interesting to see the different battles, some of them, their own mental battles happening out there.
Are we on the low side of stall? Should I? Yeah, big knot. But it's going to be a big lift here, I assume.
It's going to come back up.
East jib, east jib. Yeah, nice. Happy there.
It's really easy for the sails to stall out.
Here we go.
Directly downwind.
It's a big shift here on these guys, eh?
When the sail stalls, you need to ease the sheet, get a bit of depth and reattach the flow so you can rebuild your boat speed.
And given these boats are in different pressures at the moment, that can close the gap.
Yeah, agree. Copy that. Yeah, bow's coming down. Here we go.
Pretty quickly, and that gives boats like Record Point, who were moments ago not in the contest, all of a sudden a chance to come charging through. And Phil Robertson likes his chances of doing exactly that to our front runners. Clean Made in first and Pavement 30 metres behind them.
Yeah.
There's not much in the distances at all between these teams, and the breeze has really lightened off. The boats are not foiling anymore, and you can see the bowmen, Harry Morton, Kinley Fowler on board Team ID, getting their weight really far forward.
We kind of lost our opportunity on that gust, unfortunately. We kind of lost our opportunity jabbing for that gust, but there's nothing anyway, so there's a bit going behind us now, but...
Well, the only good thing about this slow going for Paul Campbell James is that the Brit can have a close-up look at some of the delights of the Busselton waterways, and about all that's going on pavement.
Yeah, he's decided to bear away now.
Is a chance for Lockie Gilmore to work on his yoga.
Pretty much a race to this gate at the moment, guys, I think.
Yeah.
Let's take a short-term gain if we can get it.
Continue past. Oh, actually, there's one building on that jetty.
It's all in the audio at the moment, isn't it?
Do you agree?
Used to the high-frequency whistle.
You want to be first there, yeah?
Yeah.
And now you can virtually hear the tumbleweeds of doubt.
Yep. Bear away 10 degrees if you have to.
Help the jibbies, please.
Who's going to make the master call here in this massive guessing game?
That's probably a good angle.
Like literally, Cleanmate has stopped. Stevie may be going backwards.
Starting to feel a little.
Not sure if that's on our data.
Don't want to be greedy, but I'm starting to feel a little.
You want to hold Steve out for attacking.
He's going to attack in that lift. We're going to have to
But Steve looks like he is going nowhere fast.
If we attack now, we won't lay the finish.
Yeah, agreed.
The sweat is on. The racing continues next.
Shack tack lock.
Yep.
Shack tack lock. Tess, we do know the chat around the boat park with shack tack.
Oh, we've got to kind of go, don't we?
Is a tack where you can't get on the foils.
Shack tack. Let's just run the gauntlet. We might have to take back, but so be it.
A down speed manoeuvre.
Oh, here we go.
And slowly rolling into it. This is going to be painful.
What do you reckon, or should we take back?
They're going to have to bear away behind Cleanmate. That was an expensive manoeuvre. The shack tack just wasn't working for them, Nick.
No, sometimes Shack isn't there to play and he's putting up the rebound as we've just seen there.
But he's going to be on the wrong tack, sailing it. Just get ready to run, boys. Yeah.
The boat's attacking up the middle of the course. They've got to go through that middle gate on their way to their top mark for the second time.
Wait right forward, guys. I just can't steer. I've got no steering.
And while that didn't happen at pace, it would have hurt as Pavement fall behind Cleanmate. We've got a new race leader and Pavement's turn to chase.
Attacking. Get the board.
Wow, auto tack on board Cleanmate.
Get the board up. Come on.
Big left shift on the course. They've just lifted on the inside and made huge gains on Pavement.
Yours?
Yep.
And at a critical time, the race committee have opted to shorten the course with the light breeze out here, so the boats are racing up to the middle gate for the finish.
We need to press, boys. We need to go fast. Foiling.
And it is going to be a duel.
This is the finish.
All the way to the line.
Where's the best breeze? Where is the best breeze?
The intensity on board, there's only 10 metres in it between the battle for first and second.
Are we trying to foil?
And at this stage, forget about foiling, Liv. Just get to that finish line. We've got bragging rights and serious points up for grabs. It's the fastest there that'll take it.
Pressure on, lock in, 3. Yeah, come down. We need to get pace first.
Okay, wait up. That's it. Nice. Press on it, boys. Press on it.
Yeah, let's go. Don't worry about the line yet.
Steve Thomas will rate his chances here.
What's going to get us to the line first? It's not attack.
But Olivia's certainly not giving up. No one's blinking. Everyone's eyeing off that finish.
Very even here. The outcome's going to be determined from where the pressure comes in.
They're going to point at us.
He's trying to foil. Is it worth attack soon?
Will be, yeah. It is way closer.
Stretch.
And Cleanmate
rolling, shack tack.
rolling into attack.
You're board up.
The mode they decide to sail is just so important.
Press. Have to go fast.
You put the bow down if you want to try and foil, but if you don't think you can foil, you stick with the high mode.
Tess, its foot to the floor, a massive scramble to the line here. Cleanmate and Pavement going toe-to-toe, mano-a-mano. And I think Cleanmate's just had the heartbreaking realisation that Pavement will take the spoils in this our opener.
Good work, guys. Holy moly. That was tacking over again.
Well, there we go. We've just had confirmation that the winner is Pavement by the slimmest of margins.
Nice. Good race, guys.
And Josh McKnight just lifting the mood on board Clean Made. They've got plenty more races to go and they're sailing really well in the light conditions.
Continuing? Yep, continuing.
Listening to Luke Parkinson there, that's Tech 2. They're eyeing off a third place finish at a home regatta.
I think we just keep ourselves between them and the finish.
Exactly.
Stand by tacking here.
And Jack is standing by. He's got the winner of our opening race of the day.
Thanks, Nick. Here with Steve Thomas. First win on the SuperFoiler Grand Prix. That was a very tricky race. Well done. Yeah, thanks, Jack. Super tricky. Good battle with Liv. Yeah, they had a good start with that little right-hander, and from there it was, you know, you had to play the long game, and we were just thinking, oh, well, what can we do in 5 minutes time that's going to get us ahead, not 20 seconds like you, or even 10 seconds like you normally do. So you went halfway to Fremantle and back out there on the first run downwind. That got you right back into the race. Yeah, we're just chasing some puff. Obviously, getting up on the foil, you make massive gains. You're doing, you know, 5 or 10 to 1 on the boats that aren't foiling. So, yeah, we chased that puff. That got us back in the game, and from there it was just a bit of, you know, consolidation on Olivia. So the big stack yesterday must have shaken you into some good form. Yeah, look. It hasn't really affected our sailing in this light wind because, you know, a few bruises and that don't really affect you until you're having to work hard, and that stuff's more of a mental game than a physical one. Well done. That's a great performance for the first race. Good luck for the rest of the day. Yeah, thanks, Jack.
Tech 2 keeping things cool. They sealed third position there.
We played those shifts all right there. You know, he played the card. Yeah, just saying, he played his cards out that way probably the best, and I think we did the best the other way.
Few pats on the back there for Tech 2, and Record Point will be patting their backs. They've finished fourth.
Nice one, lads. I've got Olivia here with me, second place getter. Just let the pavement slip through there at the end. What happened?
Yeah, it was really tricky going up that last work. We thought we'd had a little bit more pressure. So we wanted to protect the right. It just looked like there was a little bit of wind filtering down from the jetty. We got that one wrong, and it ended up coming from the left. So we got the first cross. Pavement had to duck us, but then, yeah, he just was able to sail on the favoured tack a little bit longer.
Once again, you had that downwind mode just going beautifully with the two boards. I still think you're the best at it in the fleet. You went for a middle of the pack, sort of up the top of the course to a leading position.
Yeah, you know, downwind is our strength at the moment. We were just, focusing on our own mode and really good communication within the team to just figure out where the pressure was. Once we found that, we were up and away. So did a cracker of a foiling jibe over on the pier for all the spectators. So, yeah, happy with that one.
Last question. It's going to be up and down, it looks like, throughout the day. What's the key to winning the next race?
Oh, it's definitely clean-made conditions. So we're just going to try and sail in phase and really work together as a team. It seemed to work quite well in that first race. So let's see what the rest of the day brings.
Great stuff, Liv. Thanks.
Thanks, Jack.
Olivia Price flashing her megawatt smile. Captain consistent there. Clean Made in second. With Pavement, a first win in the SuperFoiler series for them. For Steve Thomas and co, they'll be loving every minute. Tech 2, third in their home regatta. That'll be something to look forward to as we spool through some of the highlights of our Saturday opener. No shortage of fun stuff to do here on Busselton with so much coastline and so many days of sunshine. It's all about getting outside.
Hey Nick, hey Luke, welcome to that Busselton Jetty.
Yeah, morning.
You guys ready for a bit of an adventure?
Yeah, it should be great.
All right, cool. Let's get going.
Go.
Parko did it easy. I should be able to get down there quick too. Luke, this is a fairly unique experience. It feels like we're on the moon, or it's absolutely unbelievable. Have you ever done anything like this before?
Yeah, this is another level. This is so different. You know, I've done a bit of free diving, but to spend time down here and just actually take a minute and have a close look, it's something special. You can't even describe how cool it is down here. Look at all these pylons and all the fish swimming past. You know, I just want to get walking and have a look. This is an unreal experience.
There's no doubt being here in Western Australia under the water is beautiful. What are you expecting when it comes time to racing on top of it?
No, I'm just looking forward to getting out there, and you know, at the moment the water's dead flat. We're going to be right next to the jetty, and we're pumped for it. You know, Tech 2 team is ready. You know, bring it on.
Was it? Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, wow. That was one of the best things I've done in my whole life. A lot of people are enjoying the banter you have on the boat. Is that important to you?
Yeah, well, you know, if it's not enjoyable, you're not doing it right.
Floorboards, please. No. Straight in.
It's a whole new venue that offers a whole different experience to the crowd. So we want to be able to share what it's like to be, you know, on the edge of control and on the edge of pushing performance barriers. So if we can deliver what it's like for us to others, then I think we're getting it. You know, that's what we're trying to do.
The beautiful Busselton jetty, highlights below it, highlights on top of it, and plenty of humour in that story.
Really?
As Olivia Price will attest.
Very left
Hold.
side.
We might have to go for a windward board down, okay? Go speed. No, hold.
Getting ready for the start of the second race of the day here for Saturday.
Yeah, cool. So I want to just keep our starboard option open.
40 seconds.
Deciding on their positioning.
High mode, go, main on. Jibbin.
Record point a bit further bow forward, and Tech 2, they're far behind the line, sending it in now.
Racing. We're already late, let's go.
This late approach could work for them if they can hit that start line foiling with speed. And ID there racking up on port.
3, 2, 1, go board. 2, 1, turning.
And Tech 2 here, they don't want to face in behind the fleet, so opting to tack out onto port. They're going to split.
Yep. Wait out when you can.
Tech 2 might have been late to class, but they're the teacher's pet, gobbling up the notes and gobbling up the meters. They're in first position, looking back, with ID also making a really good start, a welcome change for Paul Campbell-James, who struggled in last position in the opener.
And tacking.
And Pavement can see that pressure out on the right that ID and Tech 2 are in, so they're just coming back into the centre of the course now.
You all good?
Oh, a bit of a slip up there of Lockie on the bow, but he's back on trapeze. We've got 3 on wire now. We've got great breeze on the upwind.
They really need a good one, ID. They've had 2 last positions so far in the racing today and yesterday, and they really need to put a lot of effort into getting back into this race.
Ease jib, please.
Our series leader there, Nathan Outeridge, twisting the knife on ID.
Here we go. Low strings, putting rake in.
And Record Point and Pavement, together with Cleanmate out on the left, had less pressure initially, but they've tacked back here, and on board ID, on the bow there, Kinley Fowler, on the main sheet, Fang Warren. These guys are smoking it. They're really nailing the upwind. And Tech 2, they're also in good pressure here, 3 stringing with that windward board up.
So there's a top mark in your picture there, the white top mark, so they'll be looking at tacking over here pretty soon. Can't see the other boats, but I think it's still going to be pretty close when we get to the top mark here.
1, go board. Tacking.
Tech 2 tacking to that ley line for the top mark.
Well, Paul Campbell-James, has been a while between drinks for ID, but all of a sudden they can taste the fruits of their labour there in first and putting some distance on everyone else in their way.
Staying high mode here.
What am I going to do? Not ID.
There's going to be convergence at the top.
Yeah, I've gone down. Press. Can't see it, can't see it. Copy, got it.
Go board, go board.
And ID first around the top mark.
Oh, it's chaos there, Tess. Everyone coming together, some close calls, but as cool as a snowman in a refrigerator.
I didn't want to front it.
It's Record Point that sliced their way through. And Phil Robertson just wants to put on the afterburners and get out of there. What a manoeuvre. Amazing stuff.
Go, boys.
Ease jump, come on. Don't stand there, brother. Heaps to do. Okay, we got a jibe here, eh? Ready to jibe, go forward.
Cool as you like on Record Point. They're racing to take the win after this.
Little jibbing.
This could be the defining moment of the race. Phil Robertson from last to second, and he's chasing down first. How else is it unfolding, Jack?
We've got Cleanmate up and going. They've made the decisive move to hit the left mark, and they've stayed in pressure. Pavement is actually probably still slightly in front of them, but they're out in the pressure and fully foiling right now, and I think they'll try and hit the ley line into the start-finish gate. Unfortunately for CJ, he's gone from first to last.
Wait out, Sam. Two string. Oh, maybe not.
Unsure of which mode to sail.
Really slow.
They're sticking with mode 2. They're going to keep the both boards down, sail
Left
lower.
in the windward board will do it.
One crew on the wire.
Yeah, I know. We're going to do it 4 times. But don't worry, we're winning and we're sailing very well.
How's that for morale?
Okay. Yeah. Set up the jibe here. Ready? Stand by. 3, 2, 1. Jibing.
I'm going to cancel my subscription to self-help books and just listen to recordings of Luke Parkinson.
Wait out if you can.
He always keeps it positive, and why not when you've got an 80-metre lead over pavement and Cleanmate are 100 metres behind you.
Every minute I'm here, I'm slow.
Olivia Price, she wants to jibe on board Cleanmate, not happy where she's going.
Yeah, Olivia Price's self-help book's probably not worth as much as Luke's at the moment in terms of where the confidence level is sitting right now.
Good for the jibe, not laying yet.
Positive attitude is key, Nick, in these conditions. The leaders are changing here, there and everywhere with the pressures on the water. You've got to keep positive.
Looking for a good spot to go back here. I think there's good wind the other way.
All the way into the dock, I'd be going.
I can't lay here, we're going to jibe. Hang on, we're good.
Deciding to stay in the pressure.
And deciding to buzz our start boat just to let them know they are in the lead there.
Jibe. Yep. 3, 2, 1. Jibing.
And here they are jibing right in front of the VIP corporate hospitality on the end of the pier.
And earning the applause.
And take the rake out, Sam.
Big gust on.
Copy.
Helping you lift.
Okay.
What a memorable moment for our VIPs there. After seeing that, they will have already booked their tickets for the Express SuperFoiler Grand Final in Sydney. They're going to be in the thick of the action as we see Pavement throwing down the challenge.
All the way to the jetty here, okay? Stand by. Let's go. Wait, go.
Getting the longest run he can into the boundary line.
Go, boys.
Continuing his climb up there. He's now into second.
Nice jibe. Strings. Copy. Go.
It's interesting, we're in what I'd call mode 2 sailing. This is 2 dagger boards down. It's probably like 8 to 10 knots out there right now, and this is the best mode to get downwind. If it gets any windier, you'll see teams starting to lift that windward board. It's actually a much easier mode to sail this board down, but you can see how quickly, if you do a bad jibe, how many metres you lose.
Really didn't need it.
And just too much lift going into that jibe, not enough stability to make the turn. You've got to be going Mach 2 really fast into the jibe to be able to foil all the way through, and a little bit better there on board Pavement, but still a bit slow here, and Record Point sending it in.
Tech 2 holding on to first, but Nathan Outeridge, this is tight.
It's all about balance. If you sail with windward heel, you end up getting more riding moment, which means you end up having to sail a higher, faster mode. So you can control where you point with the rudders, but also with the heel of the boat. So it's a full team sort of effort to make these boats get round the track. And look at this, ID and now are only 90 metres off the lead. So it's super puffy out there. And I think that this race is almost going to restart again when we get to the bottom mark, because the leaders are sailing out of the front of the breeze. The tailenders are bringing down new pressure.
I think we just go around this one. Just go around this one, jibing. 2, 1, and then we're going upwind.
And Tech 2, they're going to go right for the first part of the upwind into the Busselton jetty as they round around the bottom mark now. Sam Newton on the front lifting that windward foil. They've got a nice lead here, and this ley line into the bottom's critical. Rain!
That's Olivia Price on clean made calling for buoy room there. But you can see how slow she's going. Pavement is going to go right round that outside. And ID's moved right up into second position here. They've had a really good downwind there.
Trying to make sense of all this right now, Nathan, is tricky, but Tech 2 are in front, 17 seconds ahead of Pavement, with Clean Made in fourth.
1, go board.
And Record Point chasing.
Turning.
They're in fifth.
We're now on our second upwind. They've got to go through the middle gate and back up to the top marks.
No, I slowed it down.
And the breeze continues to shift and swirl here. It is tough going in Busselton.
Set up then.
There's so much focus on the skippers to get the boat up and flying. They've got the little buttons on the tiller extension controlling the positive and negative rake in the boards, and any opportunity they can get the hulls to lift out of the water, they're putting that lift in.
Really soft patch here now. You can see no one foiling upwind. No one's on the trapeze there. Record Point here, moving along slowly as well. Tech 2 hardly moving. So this is the race resetting. You get a puff, and it's like you release the hounds and off they go. And all of a sudden there's no wind and everyone's stopped in the water just waiting for their next moment.
You can see the bowmen start to move in, crouching down next to the mast, getting the weight forward.
And there's really nothing between first and fifth right now, about 150 metres, 1.5 football fields. So Tech 2 had a handy lead, and now it's virtually evaporated.
Wait out. Yeah, I got you.
Not much power in the boat.
I think we're going to tack soon.
Stevie's tack.
Yeah. Be ready here, guys. It's going to auto tack. Just near the rib, yeah? 3.
Tech 2 calling, there's a left shift.
Still think there's better pressure all here, eh?
Where's the long one? Long term, long term. Copy. Must continue then. Record Point sailed around our bow.
Yeah, wait up. Big lift. Pointing at the gate.
And that breeze has gone left. That's lifted them up all the way to the ley line to the top mark.
Wait up.
Tess, it really is anyone's game. Who's going to finish on top? We'll find out soon. Pavement, they won the opening race here on Saturday, and Steve Thomas is up and foiling, throwing it down to Luke Parkinson on Tech 2. 2 planes purring down the runway. Diamonds glistening in the water here in Western Australia. Very much anyone's. Who is going to mine the ultimate prize in Busselton? It looks like Tech 2's lifted again.
Max Main, Cargo.
Yep.
Beautiful conditions here. Enough wind now for the boats to be foiling.
Okay, go board.
And tacking, they're on their final approach to the top.
Turning.
And just as the challenge was thrown down from Pavement, Tech 2 has swiftly snuffed it out. They're still in the lead, and they want their first win in the SuperFoiler circuit.
When you do get up and falling, you create your own apparent wind. So speed equals more power, more wind, and it just snowballs from there. And you can see Pavement's got onto starboard here. Record Point's tacked to leeward and in front, and Tech 2's just covering both of them. So what Tech 2 is going to be hoping right now is when they get to the top mark that there's some wind. Because if they get up to the top mark and there's no wind, the race is going to restart again. And it's a 2-lap race, so they're just over halfway through this. So even though Tech 2 look like they're in a commanding position, I still think there's plenty of room for position changes in this one.
Jack, are you on the same page as Nathan?
Yeah, I agree with Nathan. Plenty of space left in this race for people to win and come last. But no one really pushed hard left there. I was surprised with that. And the record points now getting out into a stronger pressure line, and I think they've done the right thing here.
Well, I hope so for Phil Robertson, because they are in dead stinking last at the moment, 240 metres away from Tech 2.
Little jibbies, we can. We're off. Just pavement? Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go board.
Interesting decision from Tech 2. They're looking to round the right mark at the top, but that pressure was all in the left on the upwind. So it'll be interesting to see if they go for a jibe or straight. This could be a game-changing move.
Can't see the mark. Got it.
Pressure's almost intensified for every move here.
2, 1, jibing.
Looking at this here, Tech 2 had a really slow top mark around in there, the tack bear away, hardly moving, hardly foiling. That to me indicates it must be soft. And when you're in a position like clean mat or ID, you'd be just thinking, you beauty, the leaders aren't moving, and we still have a chance to win this one.
What do we want to do? Continue?
They've got to get their plans right. Tech 2's got more than a minute cushion over anyone else, so the challenge has to come soon.
Yeah, he's clear.
You can see the darker patches on the water indicate areas of more wind. So that's what these teams are trying to sail towards. You can see one out on the top right of the screen there, just after the bear away of the left mark.
Almost at a 3-point here, okay? Copy?
And Record Point are heading for that breeze line.
Ease, flat boat. All good, here we go. Big trims, smack it in. All in. Traveller in the middle. Nice. Jib on.
And just like that, Phil Robertson has made the move for hyperspace. He's put down the hammer. A minute gap.
Jib inboard.
He's going to close.
Long way to go.
And they still think there's more to ride out here, so they've just turned, put down the gas and closed the gap.
Look at him, you can see him top of screen here, Nick, absolutely ripping, and Tech 2's not moving. I think Pavement's about to go straight past Tech 2, and that's what's cruel about our sport sometimes. You can be in a great position, and all of a sudden, the weather just changes a bit on you, and you just get passed by everyone, and
all good.
It's just the fact of life, and I think, you know, Parko's got to talk to his boys, calm them down, and let's just try and catch them up again. There'll be plenty of opportunities.
We call it, Nick, a bit of a private gust out there. That was all theirs, and they used it to their benefit to smoke on the downwind. And ID also making the most of the pressure here. They've moved into second place.
Can't see it.
And it's been a bit of a mystery puff for the boys on Tech 2.
Might need a little trap down. Little trap down. Thank you.
While the screaming Kiwi dials it up on Record Points.
Okay, trim in. Everything in.
Everything inboard, because these boys are absolutely gassing it at the moment. Look at them go.
We'll go softer as we get off the pier. Copy. I think we're okay.
Look at this, he's 350 metres in front already and extending. That's one good puff down that run.
Got a jibe, eh, or not? Board down. Board down.
Bob Marley would have loved that puff.
The best breeze line of the day as they jibe to the bottom marks for the last time.
Okay, different game now. 4 point.
The breeze has lightened off. They've got to change mode.
Here we go, bell's going up. Good little puff here to hook up in. Check my string pot there, please.
So it's funny, so you see Record Point took the left mark at the top of the course and went out to sea, jibed through the gate, and then Clean Mat and ID went to the jetty, and Tech 2 and Pavement tried to follow Record Point and lost out massively. That's how up and down it is out there.
Setting up. 2, 1.
And Clean Mat have sailed themselves into second place as they approach these bottom marks.
Second in the opening race of the day, eyeing off another one today.
So this is we're coming down to the bottom mark here. They go around the bottom mark and then they're on that short half upwind to the finish.
I wonder if it's too early to write off all the other machines. Tech 2 had the lead. Now they're battling for third with ID.
Yeah. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Cleanmate have moved into second.
And you can bet they haven't given up
Okay, not anymore. We don't have that option.
on their aspirations of a first win in the SuperFoiler circuit.
Copy.
Sounds calm on board Tech 2.
Now Tech 2's up into second. It's a massive game of snakes and ladders out there.
Can we make it if we go
Especially
there?
on the downwinds. A lot happens on these downwinds. Massive lead changes. And Tech 2 is almost into the lead here. It doesn't look like Record Point's laying this bottom mark here.
2, 1, driving.
These pressure lines not only affect your boat speed, but also the angle you can sail into the marks.
That's a really good jibe there from Tech 2. Foiled the whole way through. And I think they're going to be putting a lot of pressure on Phil and the boys here at the bottom mark.
So, ready for weights up, boys?
It's all about coming into these bottom gates with speed.
Wait out, Aiden. You stay out, mate. Wait out, Sam. Wait out, mate. Wait out.
Come on, Sam.
Get ready for board.
Luke Parkinson wanting every little gain he can manage.
Record Point have right of way here, but don't complete the jibe nicely, and Tech 2's taken the lead back. So look at that. You can be miles behind, you can be way in front. It's all about who's going to be leading at this finishing line. You can see Pavement in the background really stopped there, and Cleanmate taking the mark and Record Point going to the far side. So I think the race is really on here for who's going to come second. It looks like Tech 2 might have a big enough lead, and it's a really close battle between Cleanmate and Record Point.
Yep. Stand by taking off.
Just 7 seconds. Separating second and third as Tech 2 looks to pop on the afterburners and glide to her first win on home turf.
Stand by. 3, 2, 1.
They are rolling into attack, so they're tacking underneath the Busselton jetty there. Hopefully that doesn't cast too much of a wind shadow, because I'm sure Phil's gone out the other side of the course hoping he can get another nice left shift and get back into this one.
Well, Phil's read every puff perfectly at the moment. Olivia Price got close last time around, and she's knocking for second position yet again.
Yeah, we got this, we got this.
And she sounds confident, Tess, that this could be her race.
Yeah, they're 60 metres behind the lead, so they're even closing in on Tech 2. And we saw in this last lap how the wind gets light in underneath the jetty, so that could have another effect as they sail towards the finish line.
Another strategic decision hinges on points being scored here.
Trim on, big trim. Heaps of trim.
The question is, who's made the right call? Is it Tech 2 hugging the jetty, or is it Cleanmate searching for a little more gust? We're going to find out soon enough. We're on our final leg, and the telemetry's saying there's less than 10 metres in it.
Tech 2 now on a nice angle. They've just lifted up inside.
Cleanmate just gone into a little lull, and Tech 2 back in pressure and looking pretty solid here for the win, I would say.
2, 1, go board, please. 2, 1, tacking.
It's bouncing and swirling along out there. So hard to read.
Drop from build.
Tech 2 making it look easy at the moment, but we can see they've depowered massively there with the finish line in sight.
That bloody camera boat made it hard the whole time for us. Yeah. Might actually be another tack for the angle of the line.
That turbulent water from the motorboats is hard for these guys, especially when they're just on the borderline of foiling.
This will be the finish. Lean hard, let's get it going anyway.
This is the finish. It's their first win in the SuperFoilers.
Here we go, taking off.
And Tech 2 has ticked that off their list.
Can sail downwind just quietly.
And it is a Busselton bullseye for Luke Parkinson, Sam Newton and Aidan Menzies.
And Cleanmate, they've sailed this leg nicely. They've been good at doing a lot of tacks and jibes to link those pressures together, and it's paid off for them.
I think it's a tight finish here for second. Cleanmate and ID, I think here are coming in close together.
Get the board up.
Don't tell me Cleanmate are going to miss out on another one by the narrowest of margins. Paul Campbell-James will do anything to knock off Cleanmate here.
And and ID, it looks like the breeze has gone left and they've lifted and they're going to be, yep, looks very close across. You can see the white mark and the yellow start boat marking the finish line.
Oh, that's the dreaded sound. Clean made.
Yeah.
All right, good job.
Yeah, another one.
Just 6 seconds between them and ID.
Snakes and ladders.
And well surmised there from Record Point, who's closing in on fourth.
Oh, how would you be if you were Phil? You know, remember when they were at that top mark and he was laughing. He was gone, absolutely gone. And now he's going to come fourth or fifth. You know, Pavement still has a chance to get him here. It's, there they go. They crossed the line there in fourth. But oh, I'd be gutted if I was Phil after something like that happened.
Just a bungee take-up, right? Well, let's go run it external.
Yeah, here with Luke Parkinson, the winning skipper on the Tech 2 ship. Well done, mate.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting race. So many lead changes with the fickle conditions, but you know, we had a solid downwind there, strung a few together, and I don't think we touched the water much at all.
You can jibe. Talk us through what you're doing so well.
I'm not going to give away the trade secrets just yet. We've got to sort out the rest of our game before we can give those ones away.
And you're keeping all your team on board today, mate?
Yeah, that helps a little bit. You know, the boss is on board and he said, you know, rig in the sky, foils boat out of the water, and the crew on board is a pretty good start. So his advice has gone strong.
Very good. Good luck for the rest of the day.
Thanks, Jack.
Tech 2 sponsors really helping out there as we see Pavement wrap up the standings here, 2.5 minutes behind. For race 3 is the story of Tech 2, their breakthrough triumph ahead of ID, Clean Made and Record Point. That one probably hurts the most for them. They had the lead and they finish 1 minute 27 seconds behind. Luke Parkinson will have all his buddies watching that on the loop at the Fremantle Sailing Club for a long time to come. Here are some of the best bits. Western Australia, a gorgeous coastline that seems to stretch on for eternity. A beautiful Mediterranean climate and some of the freshest seafood in the whole entire world. When we're not superfoiling, we're very much swimming. And when we are working, we're relying on some of the best in the business, locally sourced of course, to get us our pictures. And the Naughty Craft team's got a very unique machine that brings the action to life on the water.
You could not imagine going on a truck or a car without suspension. So why do boats not have suspension? Well, now they do. It's a perfect camera boat because you'll get much more stable footage. The deck doesn't bounce around. Let's go and have a ride.
Sounds good to me.
You just have to be careful because it doesn't take much on the throttle to throw people off the deck.
How would you describe the ride experience?
The way I call it is a magic carpet ride. It sort of just floats over the peaks of the swells and absorbs the shock as you come off one swell onto the next. It's just amazing. We have what we call a coordinated turn, so the suspension system leans you into the turn as it goes around. So we can corner as quick as a monohull, even though it's a catamaran. It's almost like a mogul skier, if you think about it, as they're going to the head stage stationary while the legs are doing all, and that's what we're doing.
The Naughty Craft, naughty by nature, naughty by name.
You guys trying to go high mode?
Naughty by nature.
What do you guys reckon? Straight and then tack?
As we have 5 superfoilers ready to race.
I think 4 would be good there.
In our penultimate showdown of the day. And Jack, tricky conditions, what's the latest?
It's more in the left, as we've seen sort of when the breeze comes, it flicks into the left, and we're seeing that right now. So the fact that we've got 3 laps happening means that the breeze is more consistent and less downwind patches. So looking very nice for the third race today.
Fingers crossed.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
And that's the start. They're off the line.
4 metres.
4 metres off the line, Luke's calling it. And they're not going to have much runway on starboard tack into the spectator boats before they've got to come back to the middle of the course. So ID and Record Point opting for that port tack start to get a longer runway.
Cover in the middle, please.
I feel like there's something just here.
All eyes on trying to find the pressure. There's not much out there and the boats are struggling to get up on the foils, so they've got to work hard. Really delicate movement in the boat to keep the momentum going.
I'm getting a little bit of breeze. I'm getting right-hand pressure to the left of the left mark.
Try and get that float out of the water. We're balancing on the hull if we can.
So delicate out there, so much feeling involved.
Yeah, there's not much load in the sails in this light wind, so you've got to be really sensitive with your trim on the ropes.
A lot more slippery.
What the skipper's feeling over the rudder.
I agree, we're on a big lift as well.
It's been hard going for ID.
Pull the jib in a bit, yeah.
Paul Campbell-James desperately wants a change of fortune out there.
Yeah. I agree, yeah.
They've got good pace and they're on a lift.
Just got to move around more, Fang. The lured hole was in there. Good, man. Nice work. Going really well here.
And staying positive on board, ID.
Yeah, I agree.
And it looks like they've made the right call to head out there. Record Point has shadowed that manoeuvre and it is reaping rewards out here in Western Australia so far.
Bow down a little bit in this.
Yeah, I still don't think it's quite windy enough. Okay, maybe now.
They're just talking about whether to put the bow down and try and get the boat up on the foils or whether to keep going with that high mode to minimise their distance upwind. Not enough wind at the moment to foil.
It's going to be a knock, but we're going to be in pressure.
And Clean Made is sitting in 5th at the moment, but in touching distance of our front runner, 150 odd metres covering the fleet.
Breeze on here in 3.
And if she's got a nice puff here, she could be on the Superfoiler Magic Dragon in no time, as we see the tech tour up and almost foiling here with Sam towards the front. He's going to crawl his way like a baby along the bow there.
The crew have got to be so accurate with how they move their weight across the boat. You don't want to move your weight out unless you've got the power in the sails to hold you against it. So you can see the crew staying in the middle of the boat until there's a bit of breeze to get out and start trapping. The skipper's got such a big role, Nick, in this light air because they're going to be the first ones on trapeze. They've got the feel through the boat, through the rudder, and they're pressing the buttons to tell when they can get that lift.
Getting into this puff, then we tack. Copy. Copy. Weight up. Board set up. Okay, let's go. Down this next wave, I'm turning.
So Record Point, they're in 2nd at the moment and sounding pretty relaxed and pretty in control of their movements at the moment. Phil Robertson, he's already got a race win here in Busselton and he's chasing another. And I'd say he'd highly favour his chances of being able to do that in the blazing sun here in Busso.
For a left turn. It's a much more favoured gate as well.
Calling a left turn at the top.
Yeah, right turn, no foiling. We will keep 2 boards down there, okay? Board if you can.
And I've already spoken about some of the Perth flavours here. Obviously, we've got another Perth local in Fang Warren riding on ID. He's got friends and family down here watching them, and he's been telling them for weeks how fast the Superfoiler is. He's going to have a tough job at the bar bending their ear and convincing them after today.
Yeah, I agree.
And CJ agrees.
There's a little bit now out left, but it's such a long way to that mark.
And you can actually see Fang Warren there putting his hand and slapping the main foil there, trying to get it positioned there where he needs it.
Just click the main and you can drop the board. Bang.
Just discussing preparations coming into the top. They think this right mark's closer. Planning to tack around.
Go, mate. Go board.
It shows how fluid the strategy has to be in these difficult conditions. 1 minute you think you're going left, the next you've got to decide, hey, that's not going to work. Let's just go the shortest distance, Tess.
Yeah, you've really got to commit to one side in the lighter breeze. There's typically a lot less down through the middle of the course, so jibing back into the centres, just into the no-go zone.
Just have to go for wind here. Cannot stay away from That bad boy.
Really got to minimise manoeuvres.
And unfortunately here we've kind of run out of breeze at the top mark. Idea around the top gate, but I don't see them going very far until the next puff comes in. Good chance that all the guys behind are going to catch up to them again.
Jib in hard, please.
Nathan, we just saw a shot there of Paul Campbell-James looking to the heavens, searching for something, checking out the main. Is it a case of just hoping?
More sheep, please.
And not actually knowing where the breeze is coming from, just wishing it forward.
Wait up, guys.
Tack, right?
Yeah, we will tack.
Foil winds are hammering off the beach.
Yep.
So you know.
Tess, Aidan Menzies may have spied something ripping past the beach.
No, we're tacking.
Yeah, it puts you in a really powerful position if you can do that bear away at the top in breeze with some boat speed, because it gives you just a much better platform to start your downwind leg.
Yeah. Hiking, go, straps, hit it, big ones, big swings, big swings.
And record points going for a big swing. Will they ding? We'll find out next.
Swing it down, boys. Swing it down, go, go, go. Get over it, nice. Big swings, beauty.
Phil Robertson loving what's happening on record point. We saw them romp in the last race and they've just rolled ID.
Copy.
And Tech 2 have gone all the way into the jetty there for a longer run line back into this middle gate. There is pressure building on the downwind.
Yep, wait out, guys.
Can hear the excitement on board when there's more pressure coming.
Yeah, copy. A little more lift on that board, please, Sam.
So much on the line here between first, second and third, and let's not discount pavement either.
About to take off. They've got the lift in the boards. Need to swing hard here and get the boat to windward. Get it out of the water.
Wait out. Sorry. Boards.
Luke Parkinson has to avoid the spectator boats as well.
Those waves just absolutely nailed us then. Again.
And he's clearly frustrated by the wake.
We're gonna have to take that into our play, okay? Here we go, guys. No one's foiling. We got a nice one here.
So difficult to get the boat up and foiling, and any little wave or wrong pressure can just send that hull smashing back into the water.
Look out, cutting him right off.
Phil Robertson asking for the Cunningham off. They're trying to power up the sail.
We're gonna have to jibe here, guys. Look at the wind. Wait out.
And you can see, Tess, how difficult it is to try and pilot the SuperFoiler in these shifting conditions as Tech 2 strings a breeze together and ID and record point limp on. They're going to be ahead in no time here.
Yeah, wait, go. Hit it. Yeah, I think we'll get up here, boys. Go.
You can hear the intensity on board, how passionate these guys are to use every bit of wind to their advantage. There's not much in it.
I think we got to go back in a sec. Wait up.
Look where they're going back.
Yeah.
Look what's coming in behind us.
Yeah, I know. A little further. Don't want to sail out of it though, you know.
Copy that. Happy to go.
When do you reckon? Here somewhere?
Yep.
2, 1. Big trapeze here. Big sheets. Help ease the jib, Aidan.
It's a crucial time in the race right now for Tech 2. They've got to cash that margin and bank it out and make sure they keep putting the foot down. We see ID stalling, and it's apparent they're not going fast at the moment. This will really hurt Paul Campbell-James.
Copy that. Setting up.
There's not much breeze across the course here, Nick, so I think you'll see everyone converge.
Okay, rolling into a drive. You're...
There's only 194 metres between first and fifth.
Cancel. Well, are you sure about that, Torb? We want to be the other side of him. Someone's got to get this leeward hull out of the water.
So much uncertainty.
Leeward hull's still in the water, lads.
So difficult to boat handle.
Nice, Frank. Good work.
And they're just trying to get both the windward and leeward hulls even distances above the water just to lengthen that water line.
Punch us down a bit.
I don't know, I kind of disagree, but we'll see. Let's see what it's like.
There's a lot of time in the light breeze for these guys to communicate between them and discuss where they think the next pressure line's going to come from.
Nice work here now. Okay, the chick's going for a foil there. She's almost up, eh? So is CJ, yep. Wait
yeah,
back,
and here you
please.
see ID getting up
Yep.
and just struggling to get over the humpy.
back, please.
If they get a little bit more pressure, they'll get up and foiling.
Got to pull the main in and let the trap down. Jibing in 3, 2, 1. Go.
CJ hardly amused at the moment.
Yeah, you've got to pull the out. Keep it there, hold that. I want to... Either way, you can't let the main out that far.
You're putting it a bit lightly there. I think CJ's more than a little upset.
Yes. Either way, the main is too east.
That feud continues on ID as CleanMate continues to slice her way past.
Move, can't see, can't see. I can't see shit when you're standing there, boys.
And ID, they've rolled over the top of pavement here.
Penalty ID, penalty ID. Okay, jibe in, boys. 2 jibes here.
A penalty's been given to ID for the windward-leeward rule with pavement as they were overtaking from behind.
Hey!
And you can hear the whistle from the umpire. They've completed their penalty, the double jibe.
Where's my angle? Am I low riding? Am I foiling?
CleanMate steering through the chaos into 3rd.
I'm always feeling good here.
Pretty happy with their angle. They're really close to sailing through that middle gate.
I've gone max negative there, put some positive in it.
And record point, they're trying to get the lift in the foils to get that hull out of the water, but not quite enough breeze at the moment.
Yeah, stand by drive, we got it, yeah. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
And Tech 2 up on the foils. Nice glide through that turn.
Soft weight.
No foil out.
Take the rake out of this board, matey.
Tech 2 in the lead right now. Record point 2nd and CleanMate still 3rd.
There's still not much in this, Nick, at all. Only 155 metres. And it looks like they're going to converge as they come into the bottom gates.
Guys, we need weight to leeward. It's a yacht. Can't just run to windward.
And Olivia asking her crew to be a bit more agile on the weight up.
Tess, I think she was positively telling them she needs to. She can feel the pressure. She's been knocked off a 2nd and a 3rd.
Yep.
She wants the prize this
I think we're
time.
happy to stay 4 because we're not too far of a jibe.
Yeah, I think the bowmans like Sam here that are right forward and keeping their weight in the middle of the hull, it's working well for them. It just takes one variable out.
Hey, boys.
I think particularly for Sam Newton, he's 6'1", and I've seen his accommodation for Tech 2. They're absolutely slumming it. He's on the couch, so he's taking a chance to stretch his big frame out, and so's Lockie Gilmore.
Super eased. Cunningham right off here. Right off. Right. Oh, yeah? Cool. Okay, happy to jibe. Jibing here. Jibing here. And
Really smooth weight movements across the boat.
1. Yeah, go board up. Just dragging it around the ocean, aren't we?
And Phil there saying he wants less drag in the water.
Nice work, keeping the weight forward, lads.
Well, it's the only drag we're seeing, Tess. Hardly a drag race, dragging the chain perhaps in these tricky conditions. For ID, it's been hard to stomach. They were up the top, now they're in 5th.
Yeah, Nick, you only want to have that windward board down if you've got a chance to get enough lift to get the boat foiling. But when you're just low-moding like this, you're better off lifting that windward foil out, as you can see Tech 2 have done, just to decrease the drag. It's a bit of a waiting game here, just to see where that next puff comes from.
Well, Sam Newton's got the best seat in the house. He'll be able to see it when it comes, if it comes.
Actually cut away a bit.
Wade in for me.
But Pavement's managed to cut through. She's in third at the moment. Steve Thomas has already tasted success here in Western Australia. He wants to do it again.
It's a real mental game.
We're moving much quicker than record. I'll go one up.
It's a mental game. It's a confidence game. Who's going to win? Who's going to crack? We'll find out soon enough. It's a case of the tortoise and the tortoise at the moment. Who is going to scurry their way to the line first? It's tense, Nathan Outeridge.
Yeah, this is where separation is your friend or your enemy. So sometimes you want to get a bit of leverage on the fleet, get out, away. It looks like Record Point snuck down the middle here ahead of Tech 2. They're going to put a jibe right in front of Tech 2 there, try and defend their position while Tech 2 and Pavement look like they're going to accelerate.
Ready for weight up. Big trim on, ready for trim on. Someone on main, go main. Traveller, jib, bounce, coming down. Soaking, soaking, ease, 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 weight forward.
Critical moment here. The boats need to keep as much speed on as they can as they sail into the bottom gate.
How far to the mark, guys?
The right one is very close.
Copy. Definitely going right.
Starting to discuss what mark they're going to round, and it sounds like that right one's favoured.
Copy that.
Not far up the lane.
Stand by drive.
Yep.
A little further. 3, 2, 1.
And a great shot to see just how condensed the fleet is at this moment.
So Tech 2 lead the jibe away. They're going to take this right-hand mark. I think Record Point look like they're going to follow them.
Hey!
We're on starboard.
Up you go, sir.
Zone.
Zone.
Olivia's not happy with Steve Thomas there at all by the sounds of that.
My Trav, your main.
I don't think anyone's too happy out there at the moment, Nathan. It's pretty tense.
Wait into leeward. To leeward.
They're fighting for every tiny little speck of real estate.
Call my angle, Sam.
That leeward heel just helps the boat round up around the bottom mark.
It looks like Record Point are getting hammered here. They were in second, vying for the lead with Tech 2, and are now being forced to go around the outside. And I reckon that ID here, even though they're behind, if they happen to split gates here, they might end up with a big chance of getting some gains.
Not yet. I need to turn up. Need some room here, Phil.
SuperFoilers, this race is shortened.
Phil is in the firing line now. Our race has been shortened, so it's going to be an arm wrestle. Every millimetre's going to count as they close in on the finish. It's Tech 2 with a 30-second lead over Pavement and Record Point, with Clean Made just 4 seconds adrift. And ID, it's going to be tough work for them on this, our final leg, as Tech 2 starts to stretch her legs. She's got a sniff.
Wait up.
Now, come up.
This is the final upwind up towards that middle gate. The light winds here. There's already been racing for 22 minutes plus, so the race committee's decided to shorten.
Go board. Go board. Board, board, board. Smash it. Go, 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 go.
Which means we're back in race mode, and it is a scurry, a mad rush to the finish.
Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it.
And Phil Robertson wants more from his sluggish crew.
Serious, lads. Go speed, speed, speed.
Very
speed.
close tack behind. Clean Made there.
We're foiling here.
Or Sam Phillips feeling the wrath of the Kiwi there, but it seems to have worked. They're stretching up as Tech 2 closes in. Nath, it's another win, or at least looking like it for Tech 2.
I've sat with Parker for a number of years on the Artemis team, and he does get quite fired up, and you know, which is great, but you need someone to balance that. Aidan Menzies, he never shuts up in the middle of the boat, so I think Sam's that calm voice, and he's a very good forward hand. He's been really good on the 18-foot skiffs doing the bow, and was a great contributor to the America's Cup team with Oracle when they won in San Francisco, and we're also with them again in Bermuda. They look like stretching out to a very nice lead here. Tech 2 got a nice little puff. Looks like they might get their second win of the day.
And and a hot day. It's not like Perth. The sea breeze hasn't kicked in. It's very light out on the water here as the boats try to keep their speed up all the way into the line. And you can see it's built a bit. We've got 3 on trapeze now, and the boats are foiling as they come to that finish line. And they've just crossed that line there. You can see the committee boat to the right.
Really nice there, guys. Happy with that.
Really composed.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Transitioning really well.
Tech 2 make it 2 from 2. 2 wins in Busselton. A beautiful sight as Pavement still race on. They're eyeballing Record Point and Cleanmate 2.
And Pavement on starboard. They're really close to crossing that finish line. You can see the shortened course flag on the start boat, that blue and white flag. They have finished now in 2nd position. Only 34 seconds behind Tech 2.
All right.
Nice. Oh. Take a second out of that.
Yeah.
Nice, boys.
Az, come over and get your high five.
And another great moment from Cleanmate. It's a superb day in the sun from them with 1 race to come.
Nice.
Couple of podiums already.
We're doing wrong upwind. Yeah. Or just that last upwind to get the boat moving.
Phil's got to be filthy with that, doesn't he? He was leading coming into that bottom mark, neck and neck with Tech 2, and that bottom mark rounding where he got pushed onto the outside, it's basically put him in last position in this race.
Surely going to sting for Phil Robertson and the boys on Record Point as we see Tech 2 with their 2nd triumph here in Busselton ahead of Pavement as Cleanmate snag another podium with Paul Campbell-James on ID on the up and up. And a bonus race here for Saturday, given we missed a couple on Friday.
And they're off the start here. Tech 2 on port, Record Point also on port, and these guys are going to be so happy to sail in more breeze, Nick.
Okay, trimming up, trimming up. Copy.
Oh, it sure looks good, Tess. ID absolutely screaming along right now.
Coming in hot.
Have to agree, they are coming in hot and maybe a little too hot. Oh, this is going to be close. Oh, Tess, almost chaos. Crisis just averted there.
Yeah, we had a port starboard crossing there, Nick, and ID didn't have right of way and couldn't quite make it clear ahead, but they've wiped off their double jibe, not costing them too much, and we're back on the upwind now. What a great shot of Record Point, close together with Tech 2. The wind's built, but it doesn't look very consistent out there. These guys are struggling to get stable flight above the water.
But no worries.
Yeah, those impacts can be really painful as we see ID has crept back into the contest.
And the breeze has lightened off a little bit again. And ID are sailing so well this race.
Wait forward if you can.
A superb return to form for Paul Campbell-James and Tech 2. They've won 2 already. They're eyeing a 3rd for the day.
Boys, ready, go forward.
Clearing the mark now.
Sam in.
And Tech 2, they're on their downwind, coming into the bottom gates.
Aidan Menzies almost doing the splits there on the port float.
Yeah, a little bit too much leeward heel there. They've got to get the boat back on top of them to regain control.
It's wet and loose out there at the moment. Plenty of splashdowns as we see Cleanmate pick up again and just take off there.
Super close racing here as they sail their final upwind into the finish.
This is our race leader, ID, closing in on a victory.
Okay, let's just assume another lap, all right? Good luck, lads. Nice one.
And they've sealed the win. It's Kinley Fowler's first weekend and he's already got a victory. ID on top ahead of Tech 2 and Cleanmate with Record Point in 4th and Euroflex suffering, not able to take to the water on Saturday.
What a great win. You were motoring up that last beat.
Yeah, we were. We had a bit of an incident with Steve, obviously coming downwind that one time, and totally our fault. But you know, we managed to bounce back from that, and yeah, our upwind speed is pretty ballistic. We've just got to work on the downwinds, but it's always nice to end with a bullet, isn't it?
Yeah. Great stuff, CJ.
Cheers, mate.
And it's been a great 2 days of racing. After 5 skirmishes, Tech 2 on top with 25 points. Clean Maiden Pavement locked on 20, and Euroflex a big donut, 0 points. They haven't made it to the line so far here in Busselton. Nathan, hopefully you are there tomorrow racing and continuing your series supremacy. On behalf of the entire commentary team, bye for now.